Hello, everyone, and welcome to BUS 222 Managerial Accounting. My name is Chris Gibbons. I will be your instructor for the next 8 weeks. So, hello to all of you that know me, and hello to folks that are new to one of my courses. Again, my name is Chris Gibbons. I'm also the director for the HCA program. So, for those of you that are in the program, again, welcome to HCA. And for those of you that might be taking this course as a part of the HCA minor or just as a general education course, well, welcome to the course. If you do have any questions, again, I will be your instructor for the entire 8 weeks, so please feel free to contact me. Okay, one of the things that I like to do with my courses is, for those of you that know me, is to shoot these weekly videos touching base with you on what we're doing with the course, updates, general questions, etc. So I call them the weekend review. It is now Tuesday of the second 8 weeks of spring semester, so I hope all of you had a great spring break, had some time to forget about school for a while and recharge your batteries, and now you've come back for the second part of the spring semester, hopefully all charged and refreshed. So we are shooting this on Tuesday of the first week of the course. I see a lot of you have already checked in with the course. Some of you are already completing some of your assignments. So let's talk a little bit about some of the basics. Now, the first thing I'd like to talk about is a general alert, if you will, or notification to all of you that if you are a graduating student, that is, if you are graduating at the end of this spring, congratulations, by the way, congratulations to meeting that milestone. But because graduation is a little bit earlier than normal, the commencement ceremony that we have due to how they scheduled the venue, your course will be completed a little bit earlier than others. And this only applies to folks that are graduating this spring. So what I need you to do, if you are graduating this spring, you've filled out the graduation application, you've done all that, you've talked to your academic advisor, Aaron House, most likely, and you know that you're graduating this spring, let me know, because basically you have only 7 weeks to complete this course versus 8. And which I think will be fine, because the 8th week is kind of light anyway, and I think you'll be okay. We'll just speed it up a little bit towards the end. But I need to know if any of you are graduating, so we can talk about how we're going to complete that. All of your materials must be done by April 28th, which is Thursday of Module 7. Again, doesn't apply for the rest of you folks that aren't graduating. Sorry about that. But only for those graduating seniors. So please let me know. Send me either a text message or an email that you are graduating this summer, or this spring, I should say, not summer, this spring, and we will work out the details. Okay, so that kind of takes care of that notification. So let's talk a little bit about what we're doing this week and a little bit about the course as well. So the course is titled Managerial Accounting. Now, one of the things that we're doing is we're actually going to be moving this course to more of a financial and managerial accounting. This will be the last reiteration of managerial accounting. The next time that we offer this course, it will be an overview of both. With that in mind, we are going to be putting some of the, as you noticed by your textbook, it covers both financial and managerial accounting. So we're kind of getting a little pre-look at what the course will eventually, in its full form, be. The reason that it's really important for you to have both the financial and the managerial is that the financial really appeals to all of the external stakeholders, the public in general. And that is a key component. We found that a lot of our students did not understand the financial side of accounting, and which, when you came into a managerial course, we were assuming that those students had that knowledge. So I think having kind of this 1-2 punch with accounting will make you a more well-rounded manager, more employable, and have a better skill set. So you're going to see, again, a little bit of a mix of both of those approaches as we go through the course. Okay, so there's a little bit of background about kind of the course structure and what the topics that we'll be approaching over the next 8 weeks, both financial and managerial accounting. Um, Now, as far as kind of the weekly flow of events, you can see that there is a little bit of a pattern where you'll have study guides, you'll have we call Connect homework, which is something kind of new. Last time this course was run, we did do the Connect homework, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. And occasionally we'll have discussions in there. The one thing you won't see are weekly quizzes. So keep that in mind. There is a final at the end of the course. So know that we're kind of exchanging some of this other homework items for the final. I'll give you a little preview of kind of the types of questions you'll see on the final as we get closer to that. So you have an idea of how rigorous the questions will be, and maybe that'll help you study for the final. Now, this week in Module 1, we have our icebreaker discussion. Again, some of you may not be used to the discussion format, so I want to make sure that you're okay with how to do a discussion, and just to get you get to know your colleagues in the class, so we have an icebreaker discussion. Also, we do have a syllabus quiz. That's probably the only quiz that you're going to have in this entire course. And welcome to your first bit of extra credit. It might be the only little piece of extra credit that you'll get with this course. So that will be for 10 points. So please do attempt that syllabus quiz and grab your little cushion of extra credit points, 10 points offered kind of right off the bat. Then also, as I look at my notes here, we are going to have the study guide. So what you want to do with the study guide is you want to go to that assignment, download that study guide first. I think I have 8 general questions, might be 7 general questions in there that you'll answer kind of with brief paragraphs as you go through your reading. So you want to have the study guide loaded on your laptop, so when you catch an answer, you can capture it right then and there, and then move on. Also, our discussion will be on ethics this week, especially kind of focusing on fraud. My background, I have a kind of a varied background. I was assistant vice president for Fifth Third Bank for 14 years. And I also have a clinical background in medical imaging and advanced imaging with computed tomography. So kind of an interesting little career path. But when I was at the bank, there were 2 cases of fraud that I uncovered. One of them actually made the news, which was kind of exciting. And it really, when you look at that fraud triangle and all the elements involved with that, it was really the case. With the first case of fraud that I uncovered, it was a young lady who was using our foreign currency exchange to steal from the bank. It was a very sad situation. And then when bank security was involved, we found the reason was that she was in a troubled marriage. She was basically trying to hold on to her husband, who was threatening to leave her. It was very, very sad. And she was using that to basically finance his lifestyle, so she could maintain the marriage. And I hope she got away from him as the end goal. But so that was a very sad situation. The other one that made the news locally in Toledo about 10 years ago was I caught a branch manager who was stealing from a customer. And she was, I met with that customer. I was by happenstance at another branch, and it was he was a professor at the University of Toledo. And I won't give away any, a lot of details here, but he had a very thick foreign accent, and he was very hard to understand. So, I guess over the past years, nobody really took the time to talk to him and kind of what he was doing. And as I was talking to him about his transactions and kind of, figured out what he was saying, because he had a very thick Chinese accent and not a very good command of the language, I kind of figured out, what he was doing. And then looking at his accounts, I discovered some irregularities pretty much right off the bat. I tracked those irregularities down to a specific branch, to a specific manager who had unfortunately been stealing from him over the years. No one ever knew. she was eventually prosecuted, of course, fired from the bank. So again, having that opportunity allowed her to do that. There wasn't a strong, the way that she did it was kind of clever. And with the theft, and there was I guess an absence of what we call dual control in that particular situation, which we then beefed up at the bank to not allow that to happen in the first place. So that's one thing, is you can have an employee giving them that opportunity. You want to make sure they don't have the opportunity to do that. So as much as possible. I mean, you do have to have a certain level of trust with your employees at some point, but you want to make sure, especially with a dual control method, that does usually help with a lot of fraud cases. So those are a couple of things that we'll be talking about in our discussions. Will be fraud, ethics, towards the end of the week. Now let's talk about the Connect homework. So with your textbook, you have a access card. Now, some of you may be having difficulties in obtaining the access card. I've already had some text messages going back and forth with a student, and they have not received their access card yet. They've received the textbook, but not the access card. So and I myself actually encountered that same problem when I was trying to purchase a student access card, because I always like to buy the student version of things so I can see what it looks like from your end. I purchased it from Amazon. They did not have the access card, so I think it might be a publisher issue. So know that we may have an issue out there with the access cards in order to get into your homework assignments. If you are having that difficulty, please let me know. Again, send me a text message or an email so I can get a general consensus of how many students are impacted by this availability of the card. Now, I did receive, thankfully, thank you for Melissa, one of our students. She did send me information that the publisher, or the bookstore, I should say, is sending out access cards this week. They supposedly received them in Monday, so hopefully you will have them. If you ordered from our bookstore, Matthews, you will have those Wednesday, Thursday of this week, so we won't be too, I guess, messed up with what we're trying to do here. But let me know if you haven't received that access card. Now, we're going to jump in and look at the homework here in just a second on this, because it is kind of new. Many of you maybe have not completed textbook related website homework before, so that may be kind of a new concept. If you have difficulty in accessing, let's say you've got your card, I guess step one, you have your card, so you're okay with that, but you have a problem in accessing the website through Brightspace or Desire to Learn, I'm going to show you an alternate method. Last time the course was run, some students had a problem in getting through to the homework using the Desire to Learn or Brightspace interface. But there's a real easy workaround, and let me show you how we're going to do that. So let's shrink my picture here and go up to the upper corner. So here's your course. Many of you, I'm sure, know how to navigate the course by now. Going to Content. And then we have the Getting Started with McGraw-Hill. Now this will kind of walk you through setting up that initial account. But once that initial account is set up, you should be all set to go to complete the homework assignments. So so on here, I'm going to click on the registration and help. Again, will show you how to connect and pair your D2L account with your course. Now when I did this, it did pair and it worked. It seemed to work okay for me, but again, I know last time we ran the course there were some students that had a little bit of difficulty. So they used what I'm going to show you here is the alternate method to complete the homework assignments. And what they basically did, or what you can do, is right here you can see here this course site address. That's all you really need. So you can actually copy this guy. I'm going to actually copy and put that into my browser. And let me shrink my browser down so you can see what I'm doing. Put that into the window here. Okay. And let's just get my picture off altogether. And I've just pasted that into there. Enter. And a little bit of thinking going on here. Now, it knows I've been on before. I've already logged on. It knows that I'm there. You would, if you had multiple courses within McGraw-Hill, you would see these multiple courses here. Of course, we just have one course. So I click on the accounting. And again, my view is a little bit different. Let me switch to the student view. And it should just be really simplified, and you'll see your homework assignments in here. Again, you probably, if you've read through the syllabus, you know that you have multiple attempts at this. So you're not penalized for the wrong answer. So please do take your time in going through that, but know that you have as many as attempts as you need to complete the homework. Now the homework, and we'll just go ahead and click go. It will vary. So sometimes you'll have some mix and match. Sometimes you'll have some fill in the blank here. Like this will actually want you to put in a dollar amount. But there are a couple in here that I have where, let's see if I can, yeah, this one will be somewhat of a drop-down mix and match where you'll be matching up these definitions. So they will be short answer, mix and match, numerical answers as well in there. So keep that in mind. I'm going to try to keep it to about anywhere from 5 to 10 questions per homework assignment. So all right, so that kind of covers the homework assignment. Let's jump back out here and see if we can get back into the course. All right, so we're back into our D2L course here. Go back to content. All right, so, and again, it should populate automatically for you as you once you have set up your initial McGraw-Hill account. If it doesn't, no worries. Just use that method of cutting and pasting that web address directly in there. You'll set up your McGraw-Hill account, and then it should be working just fine for you. So let me know if you are having any difficulties with that. Now, remember, well, again, I know some of you already have difficulties with obtaining the access card. The homework for this week will not be due until the end of Module 2. So hopefully, I'm going to change the due date right now on that, and that will allow you to be able to complete that. Okay, so let's see here. Checking my list, I think we've covered everything. A little bit longer week in review. My week in reviews will generally be about 7 to no more than 10 minutes, but with the initial start of the class and especially with the access card issue, I wanted to make sure we've addressed all that. Now, one final thing before I let you go is contacting me. Now, as if you've had me before in a class, you know that I'd love to text message. It's a great way. I can usually get back to you very quickly. Within minutes, maybe a few hours if I'm stuck somewhere or my phone is charging or whatever, versus Virtual Office. Virtual Office, you're going to be looking at about a 24-hour turnaround before anything I get back to Virtual Office. So please, if you feel comfortable with texting me, please feel free to do so. Again, I try to get back to you very, very quickly and almost make it like a dynamic conversation between us with text messaging. So you have that information in the syllabus with how to get a hold of me through text messaging. Of course, you got old Virtual Office if you still want to do that. And if you have something maybe a little bit more confidential or something that's a little bit longer, you can address it in email as well. All right, that concludes the weekend review for our very first module. And as always, thank you for watching.